Spring has finally arrived on the north side of Chicago, just in time for a Cubs 10-game homestand. And they'll kick it off tonight here on Comcast Sportsnet, the first of 4 against the San Diego Padres. Hi again, everyone. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. We'll get comfortable here at Wrigley Field. We'll take a look at the upcoming schedule in a second. But let's look back at this 10-game road trip. Anthony Rizzo, very good to start it, very good to finish it.
Yeah, a tale of 3 cities for Anthony Rizzo. Swinging the bat well in Milwaukee, and then really went into a funk. He was just 1 for Cincinnati, 1 out of 15 there. Bunch of strikeouts, had an 0 for 6 game, an 0 for 5 game. And then he got to Miami, had a little home cooking from his family, and really swung the bat well. Had that 2 home run game, worked some walks. So he's moving in the right direction.
And playing now his former team as the Padres are in town. And as we look at this homestand coming up, this is a key week for the Cubs. The Padres for 4. The Reds have been mortal. They've been just pretty human here lately, and then it gets tougher with Texas and St. Louis.
And indeed it does. And then after this homestand, they go on the road and they play a 4-game series against the Washington Nationals. That won't be easy. So really important to get things off to a good start here against this Padre club. All
right, we've got a couple of 2 sports stars from their high school and college days, Clayton Richard and Jeff Samardzija on the mound tonight.
Clayton Richard 2-0 in his career against the Cubs. Last time he faced them, August of last year, a complete game shutout. Samardzija been very good against the Padres as well.
Padres off to a bad start, 5-15, but they've won 4 in a row. They just swept the Giants. So coming up, the Cubs, with the wind blowing out, hope to keep the home run binge going. They hit the ball out of the park a lot on this last trip.
Your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. BMO Harris Bank, helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank, NA member FDIC. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Gorgeous weather as we get set for a long stay here at Wrigley Field. 16 of the next 19, including 10 straight at Wrigley Field. And before the Cubs take the field, let's get our Xfinity high-speed action. Interesting matchup. Back in 2002, Clayton Richard from McCutcheon High in Lafayette, Indiana, was Mr. Football in the state of Indiana. He would go on to be the backup quarterback at Michigan. The following year, Jeff Samardzija was the runner-up in the Mr. Football voting in 2002, and Jeff ended up having an All-American career as a wide receiver at Notre Dame. So interesting matchup on the mound here tonight as Samardzija looks to snap a personal 4-game losing streak. Well, let's get the Padres Southwest starting lineup again 9-15, but lost 15 of their first 20 before winning 4 in a row. The speedy Everth Cabrera is at the top. Chris Denorfia off to a good start. Chase Headley started the year on the DL. Carlos Quentin back recently from an 8-game suspension. Yonder Alonso's at first. Jed Jerko's at second. Will Venable plays center. Nick Hundley is the catcher, and Clayton Richard the pitcher.
Cubs defensively. Soriano in left, Sapelt in center, Scott Hairston right fielder tonight, Ransom Castro, Barney Rizzo third to first, and Wellington Castillo behind the plate for Jeff Samardzija. He's our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher. As Len mentioned, it's been a tough go for him in the win category, just 1-4 with a 3.03 ERA. Certainly has pitched better than that one-loss record would indicate, among the league leaders in strikeouts. Very low batting average against, outstanding again last time out in Cincinnati, but he suffered a loss. 6 innings, allowed just 1 run.
Get the umpires for you. Mark Carlson went to Joliet West, so a Chicago area native. Guy sitting next to us in the Padre TV booth, Mark Grant with the Joliet Catholic. Got a nice high school rivalry working there, maybe.
We'll see if Bud is second guessing him all night long.
So it'll be the switch hitting shortstop Everth Cabrera to lead it off. Last year the Cubs swept the Padres here at Wrigley Field, but then were swept in San Diego.
Padres have had their struggles, as you would expect a 9-15 team, both offensively and in the pitching department. They've had a hard time hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They've only hit 15 home runs. 3 more than Justin Upton.
And we're underway. That's on the inside corner on Cabrera, who led the National League with 44 stolen bases last year. First Padre to lead the league in steals. And he has started every game this year for the Padres. Fastball misses outside, 1-1.
He's a little guy, speed guy, likes to chop the ball on the ground and use his legs. He does have a little pop in his bat. Good bunter.
Bud Black, the Padres manager, National League skipper of the year in 2010. This is his 7th year as the San Diego manager.
Yeah, he's not had many good clubs to work with. That 2010 season, they won 90-plus ball games.
Three and one on Cabrera.
Got to challenge him here. Don't want to walk this guy. Keep an eye on Jeff tonight. See how that finger responds.
And he does walk him.
He just tried to guide that 3-1 pitch in there and just didn't finish it. Here's what we're talking about last time out. See that bloodied finger. He tried to feel the comebacker with his bare hand. Sprinting off the mound every inning to get attention on that finger and try to minimize the damage.
So here's Chris Denorfia with Cabrera at first. Cabrera has walked 13 times already this season, has a base stealers lead. He's not running, and Denorfia takes a strike. Denorfia played with Anthony Rizzo on Team Italy in the WBC. That one drilled out into left center. Sapelt chasing after it, and he's going to make the catch on the run. That ball actually stayed up a little bit and gave Sapelt some time to get there.
Denorfia hits it just off the end of the bat a little bit. Puts a little backspin on it, and that caused it to stay airborne long enough for Sapelt to run under it.
Now the switch hitting Chase Headley. First to check on Cabrera. Headley coming off a great year last year. Led the National League with 115 RBIs. But missed the first 2 weeks plus this year on the DL with a broken left thumb. And he lines into right, and it's going to drop in front of Scott Hairston. So the Padres have 2 on with 1 out for Carlos Quentin, who has been way too comfortable in this ballpark over the years.
How comfortable has he been?
Very comfortable. Last year missed the first 49 games after knee surgery. Came back in late May, and against the Cubs went 7 for 12 in that series with 3 doubles, 3 homers, 6 RBIs.
.333 in his career here at Wrigley Field. Cubs were able to get the lead in each game of that 4-game series in Miami against the Marlins, scoring runs in the top half of the first. Padres coming off a 4-game sweep of the defending world champion Giants, feeling their oats. Been a rough start for them. They were 2-10, then 5-15, and now kind of climbing their way back to respectability with that sweep of the Giants.
You see those numbers.
Well, Denorfia, he's got big numbers here too, hitting .421 at Wrigley.
That one gets past Castillo, and the runners will advance.
Held onto that breaking ball a little too long.
So a wild pitch on Samardzija. And a 2-1 count on Quentin. Cubs will play their infield back here in the first inning. Swing and a miss. April 11th against the Dodgers. Gets hit by Zach Greinke. Decides to charge. The result, Greinke suffering a broken collarbone. And Quentin eventually served an 8-game suspension, and he returned to the lineup last week. He said he had a nice talk with Greinke. And he just got a piece of that.
Well, he gets hit a lot. So it's interesting that he's, has kind of singled out Zach Greinke. Clearly, he's a guy who's up on top of the plate, doesn't yield. He gets hit a bunch, but says there's some history between the two.
That one gets away on strike 3, and Cabrera's going to score. So a couple of wild ones by Samardzija in the inning. He strikes out Quentin, but the Padres grab the lead.
Fastballs, wild pitches have been an issue for this team, and this is a ball that Wellington's got to at least knock down and keep in front. It's a cheap run to give up.
Especially when you strike out their cleanup hitter in that spot with runners at second and third. So now Headley's at third, 2 outs in the inning. And it's Yonder Alonso. Well, Alonso acquired from Cincinnati a couple of off seasons ago, and after the Padres got him, they traded Anthony Rizzo to the Cubs. Breaking ball strike. It's 1-1.
And we'll see Andrew Cashner, who went to San Diego in the Rizzo deal, work on is it Wednesdays?
Wednesday night. Right here on Comcast Sportsnet. chopper to Castro. He'll charge. And that's the inning. Weird inning for Samardzija. A couple of wild pitches. That leadoff walk comes back to bite him. 1-0 Padres. Clayton Richard. And there's Southwest starting lineup. Dave Sapelt in the leadoff spot. Castro, Rizzo, Soriano in the middle. Wellington Castillo the catcher. Scott Hairston, the former Padre. Same for Cody Ransom. He was actually their opening day third baseman. Barney hitting 8th, Samardzija 9th.
Padres set up this way. Quentin Venable Denorfia, Headley Cabrera, Jerko Alonso. Hundley's behind the plate for Clayton Richard.
And a called strike on Dave Sapelt. That one dribbled foul. Quickly 2 strikes. Richard likes to work fast.
He does indeed. He's our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Padres. He's not been very perfect at all. He's 0-2 with an ERA approaching 8. That's not the least bit perfect. He's solid though. Good year last year, 14-game winner.
On the ground to Cabrera. And he gets him.
Richard, fastball, slider, cut fastball, changeup. He does a pretty good job keeping the ball down, gets a lot of ground ball outs. Not a real hard thrower. Fastball, 89, 90 miles an hour.
I figure he watched Mark Burley, his former White Sox teammate. But you know what? I'm left-handed. I think I'm going to work quickly just like Burley does. Made his big league debut in 2008. And Starlin Castro takes ball 1 low. 2 hits, 2 RBIs yesterday, but just 214 on the trip.
The old line was work quickly, throw strikes. Babe Ruth is dead.
I'm assuming that phrase was coined shortly after the Babe passed away.
I don't know. Well, the Pirates used to wear T-shirts years ago to that effect. Ray Miller, the pitching coach, passed out T-shirts to his guys.
A wind and the 2-1. It is a strike.
Nowadays, they're probably saying work quickly, throw strikes. They're testing.
2-2 hit on the ground and into center for a base hit.
Anticipate a lot of contact with Richard. He's not a strikeout guy. This year, in the early going here, his control hasn't been particularly sharp. He's walked 11 while striking out 9. He's the kind of guy you think about playing a little hit and run sometimes because he does have the knack of getting ground balls, so you're always worried about the double play. You're not going to do anything like that with Rizzo hitting. You're just going to let him do his thing.
Well, we'll see if the trend continues against lefties. Rizzo has killed lefties, has struggled against righties. His Padre career was pretty brief. In the big leagues, 2011, hit just 141 in 49 games before getting traded. And he bounces into the hole at second, and Jerko with a nice play to get him. Once that ball got past Alonso, I thought it might get into right.
And Jerko shading towards the bag, playing for the double play, so he shows pretty good range here. This ball got a little top spin. It's a nice sliding play to get Rizzo. Pretty slick.
Well, he's a natural third baseman playing second. Well, the tying run at second, that's Castro, and here's Soriano, 2 outs. Ball 1 low. In fact, going into this season, Jed Jerko in the minor leagues just 48 games at second base.
We got the kid Almarista can play over there too. Logan Forsythe that played second base, or at least some second base for them last year, on the DL.
One and one the count on Soriano. Early on, first inning, Padres got a run in the top. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Should be a good night for Soriano in terms of the weather. The wind out of the southeast blowing straight out to left.
Pretty good changeup that Richard just flipped up there.
Ground ball to Cabrera. He'll get it across in plenty of time. So all the outs were on the ground. Even the base hit was. 1-0 San Diego. That's tweets with Cubs in-game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Here's Jed Jerko. G-Y-O-R-K-O. Jerko. Ball 1.
He probably didn't get picked on at all when he was a kid.
Morgantown, West Virginia. And went to school at home, West Virginia University.
Yeah, they make them tough down there in Morgantown.
MLB.com had him as their #1 prospect over the winter. Samardzij's 2-1 is fouled off to the right. Hello, game's over here. That is foul.
On Wednesday, May 15th, join Chicagoland police officers and their supporters for the Cubs annual Law Enforcement Night here at Wrigley Field. Cubs.com/special events. Come out and be part of the fun.
Up the middle, Castro spinning, throwing. Got him! What a play.
Big time. Take that, Jerko. Great range, and then the body control to spin all the way around and make the accurate throw. That's why you come to big league games. You get to see big league players make big league plays.
That was a beauty. Here's Will Venable. Ball 1. Samardzija throwing hard tonight, 95. It's normally where he sits with his fastball. Bouncer foul.
Yeah, he gets there early and he stays there. He's able to sustain that good fastball throughout his outings. It's on 99, I think, on one pitch last time out.
Venable struggling. He's 0 for his last 13. And the 2-1 pitch. Another bouncer foul past first. The Padres just completed their 8th series of the year. 5 of those 8 series have been sweeps. They have won 2 of those series and they've lost 3 of them. So it's kind of been all or nothing for Bud Black's crew. Just swept the defending champion Giants. And Venable swings and misses. Castillo will fire to Rizzo, 2 away.
Good job that time by Castillo, knocking that ball down and getting the speedy Venable. Second punch out for Samardzija. Splitter.
So 2 outs. It's the number 8 hitter, Nick Hundley, coming off a miserable year last year and off to a very good start. Up the middle, and this time Castro can't get it.
Well, maybe playing him a step further in the hole. Only able to just kind of nudge that one up the middle. Didn't hit it all that well.
So that'll get the pitcher Clayton Richard to the plate. And he fouls off. Well, he and Samardzija know each other well. Going back to their high school days. So I pulled up an article from the NWI Times, Northwest Indiana, December 17th, 2002. Clayton Richard named the state's Mr. Football, and Jeff Samardzija quoted. Remember, he was in high school at the time. finished second. Of course I'm disappointed. If you ask me about second, I'm going to be upset about it, but I guess if you ask anyone to switch positions with me, they'd be happy to. If you ask anyone who competes, they'll tell you second is as bad as 10th. You could already see that competitive spirit in a young Jeff Samardzija. Now we should note that Samardzija had a much better college football career than did Richard, but they both decided to become pitchers as they face each other tonight. Richard lines to Castro, and he doesn't have a play. It was hit hard, but right at Starlin Castro, and he was unable to make the catch.
Well, you know, he missed a line drive yesterday, a ball similar. It was a little higher yesterday. He had to go up for it, but he fanned on it. This ball just eats him up. I don't know if it's knuckling a little bit or he lost sight of it somehow.
So that ends a Cubs 5-game errorless streak. And that stretches out the inning.
Third error charge to Starlin this season.
Fastball strike to Cabrera. Did you know Everett Cabrera was the first Padre to lead the NL in stolen bases? That kind of surprised me. Thought
Gene Richards.
Somebody.
They had some speedy guys. Way back in the day. Of course, Tony Gwynn was a pretty good base stealer for a while.
How about Dave Roberts over there at first base?
How about the great Marvell Wynn? Or Bip Roberts.
Another, Bip Roberts would have been a good choice. Cabrera's the first one. Called strike 3. And that will end the inning. 1-0 Padres. Talk, and we'll read one back later in the game. Our AT&T tweet of the game. So we go to the bottom of the second. And the weather should be pretty nice this entire week. And you know what? We deserved it.
Darn right we do.
Mother Nature owed us after the first homestand. Templeton Castile will start it for the Cubs, trailing 1-0.
I noticed people about town today. They had a little extra bounce in their step.
Oh, yeah.
Got me grinding away here on former speedy Padres, and I couldn't come up with a name. I had to cheat and look it up. Alan Wiggins was the guy.
Alan Wiggins, yeah.
Base stealer for them.
I was going to say Gary Templeton, but I don't know how much he ran as a Padre. I think he stole probably more bases with the Cardinals.
Gary, if I ain't starting, I ain't departing Templeton. He refused to go to the All-Star game.
On a hop, Cabrera will look it in before throwing out Castile.
Busy night for Cabrera. That's his third chance. He's handled them all well. 4 outs, all on the ground. So Richard is on his game so far tonight.
Well, he's not Giancarlo Stanton, but I still think we're all waiting for Scott Hairston to have that bust-out performance. 2 out of 27 so far as he faces his former team.
Yeah, Dale Swaim has stayed consistent with this lineup against left-handers with Sapelt in center and Hairston in right. DeJesus and Scherholtz having a night off. But, you know, at some point, if Scott doesn't get it going, he's probably going to go to a plan B. Hairston will have this start tonight. Eric Stultz is a left-hander. He's scheduled to pitch the finale of this series on Thursday afternoon. So a couple opportunities to get a little something going.
Three and 0 the count. Another former Padre on deck, Cody Ransom. Another strike. Deep to left for Scott Hairston. Gone! There it is. A tie ball game on a line shot homer.
Second of the year for Scott Hairston. 5th one allowed by Richard. And what a violent swing of the bat, man. That's what you're supposed to do when you get that 3-1 triple fastball. Don't get cheated. Let it fly. Here's our Ford home run replay. Line drive home run off the bat of Scott Hairston to tie this ball game.
Snaps an 0 for 15. Now Ransom with Chase Headley on the deal to start the year. He was the Padres' opening day third baseman. I asked him today, are you a little more involved with the scouting report on these Padres since you were with their team just a few weeks ago? He said, you know what? No, I wasn't needed. So the Cubs advanced scouts are so good. The report he and his teammates received, he said, I didn't really need to add anything to it. That's high praise. Three and 0 again. And 3-1.
Yeah, exact same pattern to Hairston, and we'll see how aggressive Richard is with this 3-1 fastball. Ransom can turn that around as well, so I guess he's going to be a little more discerning with this one. Well, threw it up there. He's throwing in the double coverage here, Len. He's taking some risks. Yeah, he's taking some risks.
Padres pitching has always been the strength of the club, but their starters They've had their struggles. This is deep to center. Venable will watch it go. They go back to back. Ransom with his second homer as a Cub, and it comes against the team that cut him loose.
Ah, sweet revenge. His first came on the very first pitch he saw as a Cub, and now he gets his former teammate Clayton Richard. Fell behind 3-0 and worked back 3-2, and kapow. That's our Ford home replay. Redux.
Richard gave up a National League high 31 homers last year, allowing back-to-back shots here in the second tonight.
He pitches his home games in a very difficult home run ballpark. And he's thought of as a ground ball pitcher. But when you elevate the sinker, bad things happen for a guy who does not have overpowering stuff.
And he only gave up 10 at home last year, 21 on the road. He allowed 3 in his first start this year at the Mets. He's gone 3-0 on the last 3 batters.
Yeah, and you know, looking at his numbers, trying to explain that 7.94 ERA, the one thing I looked at was his first pitch strike percentage way down. Last year he's getting the jump on hitter. So far this year he's been working from behind. If you're not overpowering, you either got to be able to paint in those fastball counts, or you got to be able to trick somebody. You got to be able to throw your breaking ball or a changeup in hitters' counts.
Caught the corner, 3-2. Samardzija on deck. The Cubs have their first lead of the night.
Well, the weather is beautiful. We encourage you to come out and enjoy it here at Wrigley. Cubs will be in town for 10 straight games because that makeup with the Rangers is in the mix. That's Monday, May 6th at 7:05. Tickets are available for every game on this homestand, including the Budweiser bleachers. Purchase your tickets. Visit Cubs.com.
Ball 4. Barney will take a base. So Nick Huntley will go out and tell Richard, stop going 3-0 on everybody.
Yes, good idea. It's the third time Darwin has walked this year.
We'll see if Samardzija will bunt here early in the count, considering Richard is not throwing strikes. He squares and bunts it foul.
Yeah, you're up there to bunt. The one thing you want to make sure is you get a strike, especially with a struggling pitcher on the mound. Now, you don't want to be taking strikes if you're a pitcher and you're up there trying to get a bunt down. And force him into the zone so you can get a free base.
They're going to get him. Oh, he got back in. Boy, Barney with a very delayed reaction was very fortunate to get to the bag.
Barney just holding his ground, trying to read that move of Richard, who ultimately did come over.
Samardzija gets down the bunt. Hundley will throw to the second baseman. Jerko covering first. And with 2 outs, it's Dave Sapelt.
Felt like Hairston was off to a very slow start, but he started to pick it up lately. He had a couple multi-hit games on the road trip. Had to get that batting average off the interstate.
Sharply hit grounder. Chase Headley won the Gold Glove last year with a really nice play. And that'll end the inning. But the Cubs get a couple of runs on 2 homers. Scott Hairston with his second. Cody Ransom with his second. And the Cubs lead 2-1. For the Cup on Comcast Sportsnet. Tune in for a series the whole city will be talking about. The top-seeded Blackhawks take on the Wild at the Madhouse. Blackhawks Wild Game 1 tomorrow night at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Here it's 2-1 Cubs. Jeff Samardzija with an 0-1 to Chris Denorfia, and that late swing almost resulted in a double, and it was just foul. Denorfia lined out in his first at bat. A nice play by Dave Sapelt in center. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
So overpowered him there, 94 miles an hour with little sinking action.
Headley singled in that first inning.
Do you want to say it first, or you want me to say it?
Go ahead.
It's Headley.
Headley Lamar. 1-1.
That's it. I'm done.
Headley finished 5th in the National League MVP voting last year. Inside 2-1.
Very valuable player. Switch hitting, Gold Glove third baseman who could pick it, hit for power. Good from both sides of the play. Better from the left side, certainly in the power department. Now that'll neutralize just about any hitter. Bottom of the knees, the outside edge. Leading the National League with 115 RBIs last year. The only Padre to lead the league in RBIs other than Hall of Famer Dave Winfield.
On his hands and fouled off.
Back for its second season is Cubs Authentics, the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia, from game-used baseballs, bases, and jerseys to autographed bats and photos. Cubs Authentics has the most exclusive Cubs memorabilia. Visit the Wrigley Field concourse, the Cubs store across from Wrigley Field, or Cubs.com/authentics.
Just missed on a slider. Samardzija thought it was strike 3. And Mark Carlson did not agree. So the pitch tracks thought of it. Could have gone either way.
Could have gone either way. And Samardzija's point probably, well, you called the earlier one. Why not this one? But it's hard to hold the umpire's feet to the fire on those borderline pitches, just on the edges, down around the bottom of the knees. Some pitches, as a pitcher, you certainly expect to get. Others you hope to get. And put that one in the latter category.
Quinton fouls back. Quinton struck out on a wild pitch that scored Everett Cabrera. And Quinton could have ended up at first base. And instead, he went back to the dugout.
Brain cramp, maybe?
Inside.
That's how the Padres scored their run. Split her down and away. Castillo can't handle it. And I think Quentin just got caught up in the action with the play at the plate and forgot that he could have run to first base.
Yeah, there are less than 2 outs and a runner at first. That's the only time he can't run to first. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And guess what? He can't run to first on a pitch in the dirt. Because of that scenario I just painted for you. Well, this one was generally cleanly blocked by Castillo. 5 strikeouts now for Jeff.
Guy has good gap power, Yonder Alonso. Really good right center to left center.
Padres record 39 doubles last year. Rookie record 39 doubles. Wide for ball 1.
These two franchises have something in common.
What is that?
They each have a Mr. And Ernie Banks is Mr. Cub. Tony Gwynn is Mr. Padre. I don't know if nobody else has that, do they? Can't think of one.
Well, there's Mr. Met, but that's a mascot. That's not an actual player.
And Mr. Red, yeah.
That's a good point. Outside, 2-1.
Cal Ripken couldn't even be Mr. Oriole. Not with Brooks Robinson, all that he did there.
Jeff Conine actually is Mr. Marlin.
Is he Mr. Marlin?
Yeah, he is. It's about the only other one I can think of. As Barney will get Yonder Alonso. Padres strand 1. Cubs lead 2-1.
slow-mo replay. Second day in a row, Starlin Castro's been bothered by a line drive, this time off the bat of the Clayton Richard, the pitcher. Maybe a little slice spin on it, something creating a little bit of an issue for him, but clearly a ball he should have had.
Ground ball to Headley on the first pitch.
We've seen good Starlin, bad Starlin today. He made that great play up the middle on the ground ball. Couldn't handle the line drive.
First of 3 consecutive night games, and then Thursday afternoon to wrap up the set. And the Reds come in for the weekend on Friday. 4 opponents. Every series is a different length. 4, 3, 1, 2. It's going to go foul past first.
And then after the homestand, the club is off to Washington to play the Nationals in 3. I think in the open I said 4, but it's a 3-game series. Thursday, the 9th of May, is an off day. 3 with Washington, then right back home for 3 with the Rockies, and they're playing good ball.
Rockies tied with the Diamondbacks at 15 and 10 atop the National League West. How about the Astros tonight, partner? 9-0 leading the Yankees in the 6th inning.
Yeah, they put a beat down on Andy Pettit.
That's not nice to the former Astro and Texas resident. Chicago Cubs summer camps offer children ages 5 to 13 of all abilities the ultimate major league experience in convenient locations around Chicago. Join fellow teammates for a week of top-notch baseball instruction, exclusive VIP access, and unforgettable moments. Visit Cubs.com/camps to sign up your future Cub today. You're listening to some cool tunes, or maybe Pat and Keith call the action while he watches. Called strike. Well, you mentioned good Starlin, bad Starlin. It's been the same for Clayton Richard. This goes against the grain. Most of the fly balls have left the yard. Everything else on the ground here early on. 2-1 Cubs after 3. It's Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Moss. Cubs leading the opener of this long series 2-1. Back-to-back home runs in the second from Hairston and Ransom. Jerko, Venable, and Hundley against Samardzija here in the fourth. Swing and a miss. We forgot one big mister. Not a team. That's our good friend Bob Uecker. John Swartz tweeting Mr. Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
We can't forget Mr. Baseball. Take Rizzo right to the bag. I guess Joe DiMaggio was Mr. Coffee, right?
Mr. Coffee.
So we want to wish Ozzie Stambaugh a happy 89th birthday. In Freeport, Illinois, watching tonight, cheering on the Cubs.
Just a hair low. Venable, a two-sport athlete as well. He played basketball and baseball at Princeton.
Son of former Major League outfielder Max Venable.
Well spotted.
Moved his hands that time. Will studied anthropology at Princeton.
They turned out some decent players over there. Scott Bradley, former big league catcher, is the coach there at Princeton. Venable had a notion to bunt, pulled back, and it was called a strike. A little wiggle room off that outside edge tonight at times. Not that much. Ross Ollendorf, the big right-hander who was with the Pirates. He's a Princeton man.
Pop up back of short. Castro's out. 2 hands on him.
Check out the Audi Legend Suite on the Nuveen Investment Suite level. Watch the game with a former Cubs player and listen to classic stories about life as a Cub with luxury food and beverages. A unique gift for each guest. The Audi Legend Suite is the most exclusive way to catch a Cubs game. For more information, visit Cubs.com/suites.
Hundley with 2 outs. He singled in the second. We were talking about what these two franchises have in common. One thing they don't have in common. 26 years ago today, Andre Dawson hit for the cycle against the San Francisco Giants. 5 for 5 with a home run, double, single, triple, and finished with a double. Nope, Padre has ever hit for the cycle or thrown a no-hitter.
It's a little surprising.
Foul tip, strike 3. That will end the inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Cubs leading the Padres 2-1. His field's in great shape. And First Sergeant David Binning from Pecatonica, Illinois. First Sergeant of Alpha Battery, second of the 122nd Field Artillery. He's participated in Operation Enduring Freedom, numerous training exercises overseas, and most recently, First Sergeant of Alpha Battery out of Sycamore, Illinois, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch tonight. Time now for a Coors Light freeze can. Scott Hairston. Well, that line drive that had about a foot to spare.
A little hook spin.
We'll see Hairston and Ransom in this inning. They went back to back 2 innings ago. The other thing the Padres never had, as far as I know, is a manager who went on a nice rant 30 years ago today, like former Cubs manager Lee Elia did. Would you call it a famous rant or an infamous? I think it's more of the infamous variety.
It's certainly infamous in its nature.
We're talking with Keith Moreland about that today. That's hit very well out of the deep right, and it's going to get off the wall. Castillo on his way to second. That ball took off over the head of Denorfia for a leadoff double.
Looked like he was thinking about going that way, and indeed he did. Having that ball off the base of the wall, leadoff double, and we talked about it throughout the early season. How the Cubs have cashed this in as much as they would like. I'm guessing every club says that. A big opportunity here for Hairston to have a big night. A man in scoring position after hitting a solo home run back in the second.
Good rip at a fastball, and he fouled it back. And the Cubs lost to the Dodgers 30 years ago today. I believe it dropped them to 5-14 on the season. And Zonk was hearing it from a fan who actually spilled a drink on him near the home dugout.
Spilled?
Spilled, yes. I'm trying to keep it kind of clean. And Keith was not too happy about it. His teammates helped him calm down, and they headed down to the left field clubhouse. Zonk heard his manager behind him, and he wasn't too happy. Zonk thought, oh man, I'm in big trouble. And Zonk went to his locker. Lee Elia went to talk to the media, and the rest, as they say, is history. In terms of post-game rants, I think that has to rank as number one.
That one used to make the rounds of the clubhouse.
Oh, yeah.
The unedited version. Yeah, that one, you know, for its intensity and its length, I mean, it showed some staying power.
Tommy Lasorda here, after Dave Kingman hit 3 home runs against the Dodgers, was pretty good. My opinion of his performance. How can you ask me a question like that? But yeah, I still have to go with Elia. High in the air, well hit, and it's going to be caught by Denorfia. Castillo tagging, and the throw a little late.
No sacrifice given to Hairston, but a productive out. Deep enough that Castillo was able to tag in advance. Black will tighten that infield up. I don't know if they'll bring him all the way in, but certainly they'll have him part way in at least.
So the infield coming in about halfway against Ransom. Here we go. Hit foul.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see what clubs will do is they'll come in on the offside, and this is just the right side of the infield will come in tight, and the left side stay back a little bit, a little more. Hitters tend to hit the ball with more authority on the pull side. Don't have a real speedy guy on third base. That helps drive the decision to stay back halfway as well.
Kick in the 0-1 is a high strike. Ransom saying, is it up? Apparently not.
Hitters always ask, but they're not really asking. They're basically telling the umpire that ball was up.
That is a rule book strike, but you don't always see it called. Pops it foul. They'll have another chance. This will get back to the seats.
I think the zone has gotten a little bigger in recent years up, and it's every umpire is a little bit different. But it used to be if you threw it above the catcher's face, it was a ball. And I like expanding the zone up and down because hitter still has a fighting chance. It's when a guy's real wide. Some of those umpires used to call that ball 6-8 inches off the plate a strike. Hitter really had no chance, but if it's up, he can still get to it.
Good block by Hundley.
See him rotate the glove and then slide the feet. Good lateral movement.
Got him. Big second out for Clayton Richard. That is his first strikeout of the night. He really needed it. So the infield back with 2 outs and Darwin Barney coming up. The 0-1 way outside. Wind really picking up. And it's blowing straight out. This feels like mid-July, not late April.
Starting Barney in this sequence with a get over slurvy breaking ball, working out of the zone. Obviously, the pitcher on deck and 2 outs. Doesn't have to give in here.
And Barney comes through with 2 outs. Castillo will trot home. Darwin on his way to second with a standing RBI double.
Double number 2 for Darwin Barney. He walked back in the second, and now he picks on this breaking ball. So Richard goes back to the breaking ball, tried to backdoor it to catch the outside corner. It stayed on the plate. Barney, a real good swing on it.
So that gives Samardzija a 2-run lead.
Have a knock yet?
He's more than due. Remember, he hit a couple of home runs in Arizona.
He would tell you that's a hard 0-0-0 on batting. You know, there are members of the baseball community, managers, coaches, other folks around the game that sometimes accuse pitchers of not being athletic. You couldn't make that case tonight with these two guys, their resumes.
Jeff, as Richard tossed it up there, it took like a little baby swing for good measure. Yeah, he should be better than that. I think a lot of it is he doesn't cut down on his swing. So Jerko will get him. 2 doubles in the inning, the second of which knocked in the 3rd run of the game. Darwin Barney with his 2nd RBI of the young season, and the Cubs lead 3-1. Part of the order, those are the RBI guys tonight: Hairston, Ransom, and Barney. 6, 7, and 8 in the Cubs batting order as they lead 3-1.
Yeah, nice to get that punch from the bottom of the order. The top 4 in the batting order are 1 for 8. See how I did that math? So there's 4 guys, they've each had 2 at bats. Just like that.
Boom.
Boom.
Richard leading off. Did you know he's named after the Lone Ranger? It was played by Clayton Moore.
I did not know that. I knew that Clayton Moore was the Lone Ranger. I did not know that Clayton Richard was named after him.
A little pop up caught by Barney. If the Cubs score 3 runs in tonight's game, and if you do the math, let's see, 1, 2, they have. You can receive a free queso offer from Qdoba. Just text queso Cubs to 50500 50500 to opt in to the Qdoba Mobile Club.
You know that the Green Hornet was descendant or relative of some sort of the Lone Ranger?
No.
Yeah.
The character or the actor?
The character.
Oh, the character. Like a spinoff?
I'm not sure what the.
Like, did the Green Hornet ever appear on the Lone Ranger?
No. It was, you know, it's like, you know, the descendant of the Lone Ranger.
I got you.
That special crime-fighting blood that the Lone Ranger had was passed down to the Green Hornet.
Okay.
Kind of like the Hairstons and the Bells and all these baseball families.
One and two on Cabrera. And two switch hitters in this Padre lineup, the other being Chase Headley. That is foul.
Black, a good solid pitcher for a number of years in the big leagues. Won over 100 games, about 120 wins in his career. Crafty lefty with a real good changeup.
Slicing drive, foul the other way. So he is surrounding the diamond, just hasn't hit one fair here yet. Another foul out of play. Cubs haven't had much trouble with the Padres over the years in this ballpark since 1969. 133 and 90 against the Padres, although the Cubs are under 500 at Petco Park, which opened in 04. We will be there in late August.
Southern California will feel nice in late August.
Yeah.
Good time to go there. Cabrera, the pesky sort, he's tough to finish off.
Up the middle and a base hit. Samardzija looking into his empty glove. Thought he should have flagged down that ground ball.
Well, let's see how close he gets. Always hit pretty well, too. I think he thought it was closer than it really was.
Denorfi in the lineup tonight was not in their lineup yesterday against the Giants. He came off the bench late in the game and had a wild time in right field. Buster Posey with a deep fly that ended up going over the fence. Denorfi actually got his glove on it. A couple of runs scored there. But then he made up for it, robbing Andres Torres with a diving catch. Saving.
Bound and determined to make the highlight shows. Almost robbed the home run, could not, and then he comes in and makes a headlong dive to snare that one.
He's got to stick with it, I guess. The day before, he got hit in the head during pregame stretch after the guy at first base, Everett Cabrera, lost the handle on his bat. Then Cabrera let the bat fly again during the game on a swing, and of course it went into the Padres dugout and hit Denorfi.
Keep his helmet on when he's around Cabrera. Murphy not a real slugger, so he'll be taking here on 3-0.
And it's a ball. So 2 on for Headley.
Headley is a slugger, and comes a very critical at bat here in the 5th inning.
Chris Bosio looks on, the Cubs pitching coach. Well, with the wind direction tonight, you got to be careful, especially here in the middle of this order. Talk so much about the weather conditions here in this ballpark. The run scoring environment is pretty much always above average. But it's the home runs that start to become a real problem for pitchers on evenings like this. Wind's blowing in, you can give up a lot of fly balls, but not tonight.
Yeah, the game can turn in a hurry here, and that's why it's really important to minimize the base runners, keep the walks down. You're going to make an occasional mistake to a guy who could hit the ball out of the ballpark in any ballpark. But when the wind's blowing out at Wrigley Field, guys who normally aren't home run threats become home run threats.
Coming into the game tonight, the Cubs ranking 28th in the majors in runs. The Padres 26th. Both teams have struggled to score. Cubs, however, have pitched a lot better than San Diego in the early going. 1-1 is off the outside. So Marja coming home on a 2-1. Now it's 3-1 with Quentin lurking on deck.
Just the way Headley's taking pitches tonight, the way he put that swing on that splitter that he hit foul. He was out in front of it, but he hit it really hard. He just looks really comfortable in the batter's box, like he's pretty well locked in. This is a big pitch coming here.
It's a strike. Stayed away from the heater.
What I was talking about earlier in the game with Richard, you got to have a plan B when you fall behind these dangerous hitters. You either got to paint with a fastball or be able to come to something off speed.
Runners not going, swing and a miss. He got him.
Well, if you're keeping a scorebook at home, put a little circle around that strikeout. That was huge after falling behind last year's RBI leader, 3-1. He comes back to get him. Looked like backdoor slider followed by a nasty split finger pitch to finish him off.
He has already struck out Quentin twice. Well, we showed you earlier the hit by pitch totals in the big leagues, but you go back to the minor leagues, it's even more ridiculous. He got hit 43 times in his first pro season in 2004. 43 hit by pitches.
Right, so that's why you wonder why he decided to take umbrage when he did. Clearly, it's part of his game. He's in the strike zone. His hands are in the strike zone right now. Don Drysdale used to say you have to knock a hitter off the plate, throw it under his chin to see if you can intimidate him or not. And then if you find out you can, you have to remind him of that every now and then.
Interesting. The last pitch did not count, and Samardzija threw a fastball, and you could see Quentin. I could read his lips. He said fastball, maybe talking to himself. Well, he didn't get a fastball on the next actual pitch, and you saw how aggressive he was. I think he might have thought he was going to get that same pitch.
The hitting at the big league level, it's all about playing hunches, playing percentages. Hitters don't sell out and cheat on fastballs all the time. They will in certain counts, but a lot of guys will tell you they're going up there looking for a certain pitch throughout an at-bat. They're looking in a certain zone. Other guys try to guess from pitch to pitch with the opposing pitcher. Other guys figure if the catcher stands up, it's likely to be a high fastball. Castillo going into Yogi Berra mode there. Good job.
Down by Willie. It's a key play because if the runners advance, now all of a sudden Padres are most likely a single away from tying the game.
The modern hitter has a lot of disadvantages, all the relief aces that they have to face, and a lot of times they're facing, in a night where they have 4 at-bats, they might see 3 different pitchers. The one advantage they do have is all the information available to them now on pitch sequences, what a guy throws in certain counts.
Runners will go with 2 outs. A 3-2 count on Quentin. Here it is, and they are loaded up for Alonso. Samardzija now with 4 walks on the night, starting to near 100 pitches.
And this walk was a function of just not wanting to give in, hoping that Quentin would get himself out again, chasing a ball out of the zone. So he didn't really miss his spot there as much as he miscalculated, perhaps, Quentin's approach. He didn't want to give in.
That's certainly a sign of maturity as well, because Dale talked last year times about Samardzija trying to power his way through certain innings, just trying to throw his fastball harder and maybe challenging too much. But you got to pick your spots.
Greg Maddux used to say, don't throw harder, throw smarter. Tense situation, hitter's gripping it a little bit, take a little off, hit a spot. You're better off than trying to overpower a guy and making a mistake over the middle of the plate.
Big spot here for Samardzija. And the Padres get 1. They're going to try to tie it up, and Soriano will hold on to it. A 2-run single for Yonder Alonso. And it's 3-3.
We talked about Alonso earlier having that power, gap power. This ball really not all that well struck, but he does go the other way well. Keeps his hands in. Willing to use the off field, maybe sacrifice some power because of it, but it's a good approach for a high average hitter.
So 2 singles, 2 walks in the inning. And still not over yet as Jerko swings and misses. On pitch number 99 of the night for Samardzija, Michael Bowden has been throwing for a couple of minutes. A third of his pitches have been in this inning alone. Called strike 3 to get out of the inning, but Alonso doing the damage. A 2-run single, and we're tied at 3. On a 2-out, 2-run single by Yonder Alonso. So Clayton Richard facing the Cubs order for the 3rd time, and a strike called on Dave Sapelt.
So new life in a sense for Richard. You fall down a couple runs to the other team's ace. You're never sure if you're going to have a chance.
Topped to Headley, and he will get Sapelt. So Dave has grounded out to the left side all 3 times. And that'll bring up Castro.
You're right. You can basically break Richard's game down into ground good, air bad. Anytime the ball's been hitting the air, it's been a positive result for the Cubs, save for the Soriano fly ball to center. But any other time, well, Harrison flew out to right, but a couple of home runs. Castillo hit that double off the wall. Barney had a double.
Richard's first 2 career starts against the Cubs, he allowed 1 earned run combined, including that 5-hit shutout last year in San Diego. He's given up 3 tonight.
What are we eating? Chili dog? No.
Not sure what it is.
Something dog.
A lot of condiments. See, I'm a 1 or 2 condiment guy when it comes to hot dogs. Now, burgers, I'll put the kitchen sink on it, but
kind of a mustard onion guy, basically.
Yeah. 3-1. Boy, Richard's gone 3-0 on a lot of Cub hitters tonight. He's only walked 1. But after he was 3-0, eventually gave up home runs to Hairston and Ransom.
That's the one you want to swing at,
2.
there. Starlin gets a little pressure because he swings so often at balls out of the zone. I think when he gets into a hitter's count, sometimes he work a walk here.
Club to center, but it's going to be caught by Venable.
MLB.com At Bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Cubs baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and even more. Yes, more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit Cubs.com.
Outside on Anthony Rizzo, ball 1. Series in Atlanta starting tonight. Braves leading the Nationals 3-2 in the 7th.
Strasburg for the Nats tonight.
2.5 games behind Atlanta. Bounce right back to Richard. This is going to be his easiest inning of the night. Very quick 1, 2, 3. So we'll head to the 6th in a 3-3 deadlock. brings you the news and highlights that matter most. Sportsnet Central. Catch the nightly news show for the Chicago sports fan tonight, right after Cubs postgame live on the network that is obsessed as you are. Try that again. On the network that's as obsessed as you are. Comcast Sportsnet.
You nailed it, partner.
Too many S's there for this amateur. Michael Bowden is on.
He's pitched 9 times. He's 0-1 with a 4.35 ERA. Just a couple of appearances on the road trip. He did not pitch in the weekend series against the Fish. Had a clean outing against Milwaukee, and then the next day in Cincinnati suffered the loss. Gave up 3 runs.
One to Venable. Can I make kind of a benign admission? When I was a kid, I remember Max Venable, and for some reason, I thought his last name was Venerable.
You know, you probably listened to Cosell a little bit, or somebody.
Yeah,
I mean, Venerable around.
It was a day, days before the internet, so it's not like I could just look it up really easily. But yeah, I thought it was Max Venerable. And the older he got, the more appropriate the name became, I guess, right?
And good for you, as a kid, even knowing that Venerable was a word.
Well, I guess you could say the Venerable Max Venable. I'll get out of play.
Mostly a red, Max. Correct?
I know the Giants for sure.
I seem to remember him with the.
You might be right.
Reds as well.
Yeah. Giants, Montreal, Cincinnati, and finished with the Angels. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
I just went to Google him and I wrote Max Venerable.
See what I mean? It's contagious.
Good start for Michael. Samardzija 5 innings tonight. 4 hits, 3 runs. Stuff was good. He, a little inconsistent, I think, in this command. He would tell you he just wasn't locating as well as he has been.
Weird year for Nick Hundley last season. Signed a contract extension in spring training. Then he hit 157. Spent some time in the minors. Season ended in mid-August due to a knee injury that required surgery. But again, he's gotten off to a really good start. And a good play by Rizzo to play that one-hop throw from Cody Ransom.
Quick, clean bottom of the 5th for Richard. Now Bowden out here in the top of the 6th looking for the same. 2 quick outs. Errant throw by Cody Ransom, but Rizzo bails him out.
Well, 2 innings ago, you told me Clayton Richard would outlast Jeff Samardzija in this game. I would have said you're crazy, but that is what's happening as we go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-3. this year's the batter's box, David Sellers, longtime Cub fan, threw out the ceremonial first pitch. David came up and spent a little time with us before the game. It was a pleasure to meet him and great to see him at the ballpark tonight. He knows his Cubs trivia, but he did not remember your 8 strikeouts to start a game record.
And
it was not against the Cubs, so that's why he didn't know.
He was very much locked in on Cub history, and the guy he defeated lost because he didn't know Sammy Sosa's number.
That's a tough way to lose. David, though, did have your Yankee note, right?
Yeah,
you were the
1,000th Yankee.
1,000th New York Yankee. Well, another former Yankee came a little bit after JD. Alfonso Soriano with a base hit to start the 6th in a tie game.
This time cleanup man serving as leadoff man, or cleanup man rather, serving as leadoff man. He came into this game hitting a robust .444 against left-handed pitching. He has not been able to do much at all against righties.
Outside, ball 1.
It's from Castillo down that have really done the damage for the Cubs tonight. It will be interesting to see how quickly Bud Black reacts and gets somebody up in the bullpen should Richard start to scuffle here in the 6th. He's a little bit short in his pen tonight.
Yeah, we probably won't see Houston Street or Luke Gregerson. They've both been very busy.
4 out of 5 for Street. 4 appearances in the last 5 games. 5 out of 6, something like that.
That's 5 out of 6 for Street. 4 out of 5 for Gregerson.
And there is a right-hander up tossing now. Oh, there's a right-hander in the Cub bullpen. It's Sean Camp.
One and one on Castillo. Short lead by Soriano, even though Richard will fire over anyway. Anthony Bass.
Might be a scenario where you put a little hit and run play on. I talked about it earlier. He's gotten a ton of ground balls tonight.
These 3 have been off the outside corner. 3 and 1.
Throwing into double coverage again. Made a better throw that time. So challenging with that fastball right over the heart of the plate as he did earlier in the ball game. It was a little let-up pitch down and away. Back.
I think he heard you.
Just big flares up here. I see that, 3-1 a lot of times is a go count to start a base runner, and you'll count on the hitter either taking ball 4 or putting the ball in play. But Wellington has a tendency to expand his strike zone, and if he were to chase a high pitch out of the zone, Soriano would have no chance. Be an easy throw-out situation for Hundley.
He walked him. Well, the Bulls defeated in Brooklyn tonight 110-91 in Game 5, still leading the series 3-2. And if you just joined us after that one, Cubs had a 3-1 lead. Back-to-back homers in the second by Hairston and Ransom. Darwin Barney with an RBI double in the fourth, but the Padres tied it up in the fifth. So Hairston batting with 2 on, nobody out. 1 out, nobody on. A line drive home run in the second.
Got a 3-1 fastball right in the happy zone and jumped all over it.
Golden opportunity for the Cubs here. Low for a ball.
A golden opportunity and a chance for Scott Hairston to have a big night. Really boost his confidence a little bit going forward. You know, new to the club and he hadn't done much. Probably feels like he hasn't carried his share of the load, but big knock here will be a major contribution.
Swung on and missed.
A big aggressive swing and an off-speed pitch. He was looking Keeter there. Bud Black could have countered, could have made the move to the bullpen for a right-hander, but Dale Swain's got a handful of left-handed bats at his disposal on the bench. Harrison's been good against lefties in his career. He was really good last year. I'm sure Bud, looking at the numbers, said, well, if I get to this point in the game and I got my lefty still in there versus Hairston, would I rather bring a righty in and deal with DeJesus as Shearholtz, or try to get Hairston, who came into the game hitting .074?
Two-one. Now 3-1.
Managers will do. They'll kind of preview the later innings of a game. They'll sit there and look at potential matchups, what possible scenarios might play out, and how they're going to handle it.
Well, if Richard is going to continue on, he's going to have to make a pitch here. Hairston has him on the ropes. The 3-1. Ground ball to Headley. They'll go 5-4-3, and Richard did make a big pitch. A 5-4-3 double play. Runner at third, 2 outs.
And it just pulled off. It was a little backdoor cut fastball. And Harrison, you could see that front shoulder leaking a little bit. He was thinking pull again. And designs on yanking another one into the seats. And it cost him.
Game in Detroit has gone final. The Tigers beat the Twins 4-3. How about this note courtesy of Stats? Joe Mauer has now gone hitless in 5 straight games for the first time in his entire career. He went 0 for 4 tonight.
Well, he had been red hot. That is amazing, though. He's had a good long career.
Still hitting .289 even after this drought. One on the way. Base hit, Cubs lead. Cody Ransom with a couple of big knocks tonight. And both hits, RBIs to give the Cubs the advantage.
Well, and this one just lifts everybody in that home dugout after the double play. Looked like he might be able to clean up the inning. Ransom delivers a clutch 2-out knock.
And that will mean the end of the night for Ransom's former teammate Clayton Richard. It's a Honda call to the pen. The Cubs lead the Padres 4-3. Is on for Clayton Richard.
That's no wins, no losses in ERA, sitting right at 3. 2-8 with a 4.73 ERA for the Fighting Friars last year. Appeared 24 games, 15 of which were starts. The guy features a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball. He'll cut it. Both a 4 and a 2-seamer. Slider and a change.
Swing guy last year, 24 appearances, including 15 starts. Midwest native. Born in Dearborn, Michigan. So Ransom, who knocked in the go-ahead run to make it 4-3, is at first. And Barney, who has walked and picked up an RBI double, takes ball 1.
Talk about Richard outlasting Samardzija tonight. He may have outlasted him long enough to get an L. No decision for Samardzija. Michael Bowden now the pitcher of record for the Cubs.
It's great to see Sharon Robinson at the ballpark tonight for a pregame ceremony for breaking barriers. Daughter of Jackie Robinson and Edwin Jackson. A photo opportunity before the game. Fouled back. Have some fun in the 7th. JD, it's a 50th anniversary of the 1963 Loyola men's basketball team winning the title in what some consider the greatest championship game of all time. Loyola beat two-time champ Cincinnati in overtime 60-58 in the title game. Still the only team in the state of Illinois to win a men's title. That will get down for Barney. We'll see if Ransom can score. David Bell's going to send him. Little bobble out there by DeNorfia. Ransom is in, and the Cubs have that 2-run lead back again. 5-3.
And the theme continues. The production from the bottom of the order has been outstanding tonight. Big big 2-out hits. Fastball down and away. He just reaches out and pokes it down into the right field corner.
So that'll close the book on Richard. He gave up 5 runs in 5 2/3. Cubs pitcher of record is Michael Bowden. With a scoreless top of the 6th. Nate Scherholtz will bat for Bowden.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to have those guys in here. They can take us down memory lane, tell us about that championship.
3 members of that team, John Egan, Rick Rochelle, and Chuck Wood, will lead the 7th inning stretch.
So, having read a little bit about them, my question is, how routine was it back in the day for the starting 5 to play the entire game? Because that was the case in that championship game.
Swing and a miss.
I'm guessing the game is played at a little slower pace. A lot more sets.
Yeah, we'll ask John Egan. We're going to chat with him.
Probably ran the old picket fence.
John, a Chicago native. Now 2-2 on Scherholtz.
That's picking up your teammate right there, what Ransom and Barney just did after Harrison bounced into that potential rally-killing double play. They both respond with big 2-out hits. Second one of the game for Barney. 2 2-out doubles tonight for Darwin. That's got a little more fastball than I was led to believe. Clocked at 95.
Sets up a 3-2 and a broken bat pop-up. It'll be caught by Bass in foul ground. The bat ended up near the tarp, way beyond first base. Cubs get a couple. They have the lead again. Pleasure to have with us in the booth Chicago native John Egan, the pride of St. Rita, and Loyola winning the title 50 years ago. Does it seem like that long ago, John?
Longer.
Well, tell us about that run. You guys won the first, 21 games that year, and I believe win number 21 was overtime at the stadium against Marquette.
Right, it was. We had a couple guys from St. Rita on that team. One in particular was Joe Scanlon, who played. But that was a great year. I think we had 2 losses. The last game of the year we lost in the regular season, and then we had the 5 victories in the tournament.
But I was reading about this. You guys played 5 guys the entire that championship game.
That's true. It's true. Our coach wasn't much on substitutions, as you might imagine. But of course we were somewhat accustomed to it because we had played like full court press every game.
Oh,
so
really?
it wasn't like as if we were tired.
Sean Camp into the ball game, and Everett Cabrera with a base hit, and on for the 3rd time tonight. All right, you're wearing a Cub jersey. You can tell us.
Absolutely, Cubs jersey. Despite the fact I'm from the South Side, always been a Cub guy. Certainly tonight. Certainly tonight.
So, were you expected to be a championship contender at the start of the year? I mean, how did that thing unfold?
Actually, I think we started like around 5th or 6th in the nation, rated at least, and then moved up to number 2 or 3 in most of the polls. So it wasn't like David the Goliath game. It was not that much of an underdog.
Some consider that final game the best championship game ever. 50 years later.
It's hard to believe that that's considered to be one of the best, because I've seen some tremendous games. And if you looked at our shooting percentages, you wouldn't think it was the best. It was the best for us.
Now, how often do the guys get together?
Well, some of us are still living close. There's 2 guys, Chuck Woods from Wisconsin, and Rochelle is from Illinois, and Jerry Harkness is from Indiana. So we get together every once in a while when they come into town. But the other guys who live out in California or Kansas, we don't see nearly as often, except if it's some sort of an anniversary celebration like we've had with the 50th year.
Now, are you guys? Does the NCAA invite you guys back to the Final Four every year? Or is that available to you?
Yeah, if we can buy tickets.
Oh, if you can
invite it back.
This is a small proviso. You're willing to write a big check. We'd love to have you.
Get your own transportation and get your ticket.
It seems to me like they would have like a parade of champions every year.
You would think.
So what did the game look like in '63? So you're talking you guys pressed all the time.
We did.
I mean, no 3-point shot.
Correct.
Nobody's dunking.
That's right. There was no clock. No. Well, dunking was allowed.
Oh, it was.
It was taken out, I think, with Lou Alcindor, Kareem Jabbar. But dunking was allowed then. And there was quite a few guys on our team that could jump pretty well. And so we had a fast, and the team was probably average height. You know, the center 6'8", forward 6'7", the other forward like 6'3". So that was pretty much average.
You guys got up into triple digits a fair amount.
Well, that's because of that press thing that I told you about, that he wanted a full court press, and most of the guys could run, so we did run. We'd sooner give up 2 points and get 3.
James Russell up in the Cubs bullpen, 1-2 the count. We're with John Egan from the 1963 NCAA champion Loyola Ramblers. Cabrera runs, and there's a base hit. Cabrera's going to hold it second. Back-to-back singles to start this Padres 7th. Ceremonial first pitch. Let's check out the form there. All right. Looked like a strike to me, John.
I didn't want to bring the heat.
Padres threatening here. Chase Headley at the plate. You got your 3-part harmony all set up for Take Me Out to the Ball Game?
I haven't been able to practice, but I'm ready to go.
That one misses low and inside. 1-0. And a very dangerous hitter, Chase Headley. And as JD mentioned, he looks locked in tonight.
Yeah, he's had some really good swings that singly hit up some margin in the first inning. Just an absolute rope.
Ground ball. Diving stop, Barney.
Stop.
The throw to Rizzo. What a play. On both ends. I wasn't sure Rizzo was going to be able to locate first base.
Just Barney is so much fun to watch. I mean, every day he does something that grabs your attention. This is just a sparkling play. Look how far he goes, and then from the knees, a great recognition by Rizzo, knowing where his partner was out there on the right side and what kind of range he has. Because Rizzo broke initially for the ball, but then realizing, my man's over there. He's got this. He scrambles back to the bag and is there to receive that throw.
All right, John, we're going to get your teammates in here to sing here in a second. But one last thing. I saw a bunch of games at Jennison Fieldhouse, and I know you played in the tournament in East Lansing.
Right.
Saw games at Chicago Stadium. I miss the old barns.
Oh, gosh, do I miss them. I mean, I'd love to go down and see doubleheaders like we had then, but those are a thing of the past, evidently, where you could see 4 top-flight teams. I guess you can only do it during the tournament for the Big Ten, where they come down at the United Center. But that was sure a lot of fun.
Well, thanks for stopping by. Congratulations. 50th anniversary, and still the only Division I men's team in the state of Illinois to win the NCAA title. All right, sing it well.
Thank you very much.
Have fun.
We'll see you on the 75th.
We'll celebrate the 100th. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks, John. That's John Egan. And a couple of his teammates from that team will be singing the stretch. It's away from Castillo. Cabrera, however, is going to stay at third.
Obviously, with the base open, he doesn't want to give in to Quentin here, so he doesn't want to make a mistake with that breaking ball in the zone. On the last homestand, when he struggled, that was the case. He left a couple sliders in the strike zone and paid the price for it. Hunter Pence, in particular.
This is now loaded.
See James Russell in this game. It's interesting because Quentin flinched. He thought it was a strike. He wasn't going to go anywhere. He got approval from Carlson.
So some trouble for the Cubs. A Honda call to the pen. Left-hander James Russell will come on with Alonso, who tied the game back in the 5th. Have led twice by 2 runs. The last time they had a 3-1 lead, Yonder Alonso tied it with a single in the 5th, and now he'll bat with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 7th.
James Russell, the lone lefty, as you know, out there in that Cub bullpen. So you want to make sure you fire that bullet at the appropriate time. And I would say this is the appropriate time. Bases juice, dangerous left-handed batter in the box. This game could turn with this at bat right here.
Slider called, strike.
You get the feeling he could make that pitch in his sleep.
Yep. A good one for him. It's Cabrera at third. And Murphy representing the tying run. He's at second.
Hitters like Alonso, who like to hit the ball alley to alley, especially against a lefty, are thinking about keeping the hands in and going the other way. So he may be vulnerable in. You might be able to jam him with a fastball in. See his frustration after that foul ball. He was looking for that slider right there. Just didn't put a good swing on it.
Jerko's on deck. A 1-2 count on Yonder Alonso. Will go out again. And blocked by Castillo.
Staying away.
Oh, Alonso went. Borderline call, and the Cubs benefit from it. The Padres are not happy at all. That's a huge second out.
And Isagna, the third base umpire, he was ringing him up before he was even asked. I looked down before the appeal, and he was starting to raise his right arm. He was waiting to be asked, and then he punched him out.
We want to welcome those viewers who just watched the Bulls drop Game 5 to the Brooklyn Nets. Tight game here at Wrigley Field, and a huge call in this game. Yonder Alonso rung up by the third base umpire, Dan Isonia, with the bases loaded. And I think the Padres certainly had a beef. Chris Bosio with a visit to the mound. Bud Black not happy. Russell not out of the woods yet, though. It's Jed Jerko. Game of inches. Checked his swing. Barehanded play by Ransom. Got him! What a game for Cody Ransom. Stretch time.
Taking out to the ball game, members of the 1963 Loyola men's basketball team.
his former team. If you like storylines, this is a good one.
Boy, and what a play. I thought when Russell couldn't make a play on it that there was no play to be made, and Ransom comes charging hard and able to make an accurate throw just in time. Yeah, I'd say he's having himself a night.
Team that basically decided didn't want him. Off to a slow start. I mean, 0 for 11. Handful of starts in for Chase Headley. Designated for assignment 17 days ago. Thanks to John Egan, Rick Rochelle, and Chuck Wood. We're singing the 7th inning stretch. Really enjoyed that conversation with John Egan. We really didn't have time to get into the bigger ramifications of that particular team. And going through the NCAA tournament as Sapelt bounces to Headley. One away here in the Cubs 7th. The Ramblers beat Mississippi State on March 15th in a regional game that later became known as the Game of Change. Loyola was the first team to start 4 African-American players. And that really did help to change the face of college basketball. More African-Americans were integrated into the game. Mississippi Governor Ross Barnett could have issued an injunction which would have barred Mississippi State from playing Loyola. But they were able to basically sneak out of town and take on Loyola, and Loyola, of course, won the game. As Castro waves at that pitch. Yeah, they scored in triple digits a lot.
Because it was the UTEP team, Texas El Paso team, a couple years later, right? That had the entire starting 5 African-American lineup.
I'm talking with John Egan about the press. I mean, they scored 123 points against Western Michigan. Went to Indiana, scored 106. 118 against Washington University as Castro strikes out for out number 2. And this was before the 3-point line, of course. So they were
forcing a lot of turnovers.
Forcing a ton of turnovers. And then the big win over number 1 Cincinnati in the national final, 60-58 in overtime. I guess there were unwritten state laws in Mississippi that would have prevented Mississippi State from playing against an integrated team. A very important year in college basketball, 1963, with Loyola winning it all. Now it's been the bottom of the Cubs order that's done pretty much all of the damage. The top of the order has been pretty quiet. 3-0 on Rizzo.
2 out, nobody on. I'd green light him here. Anthony has not hit the ball out of the infield yet tonight.
Fly to deep right, but it's, well, maybe it will. Caught by Denorfia. He looked like he was going to catch that ball 15 feet in front of the track. Retreated and eventually got it with his back up against the vines. Central, Pat Boyle and Eddie Olczyk will preview the Blackhawks first round matchup with the Wild and get you primed on their competition down the road. Blackhawks Playoff Central tonight at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet. Julio Bourbon coming into play right. He's in for Hairston. Jesus Guzman will bat for Venable. A nice tweet from Nick Garrard talking about that championship game in 1963. If you're interested in reading more about it, especially from the Mississippi State side of it, Champions for Change is the name of the book. How the Mississippi State Bulldogs and their bold coach defied segregation. Check it out. Two strikes on the pinch hitter Guzman. Make it 3. Russell with his second strikeout.
Guzman maybe thinking off speed, cannot pull the trigger on that 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Strike to Hundley.
Whether the Cubs are at home or on the road, guided tours of legendary Wrigley Field are available. Tours include visits to the press box, clubhouses, dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses almost 100 years of history. For game days and non-game day schedules, or to book your tour, visit Cubs.com/tours. Do it now or after the game.
Just do it.
Just do it.
0-2 to Hundley with Kyle Blanks on deck in the pitcher spot. There it is. Swing and a miss. Nothing but strikes from James Russell here in the 8th. They're getting out of a huge jam in the 7th.
Faced 4 batters. He's got 3 punch outs and a little roller to third base.
Comes 6'6", 270, Kyle Blanks. Battled a lot of injury problems over the past few years. Tommy John surgery, left shoulder surgery, really limiting his action in 2010 and 2012 respectively. Brad Brock up for San Diego. 1-0 pitch, ground ball, past Barney into right.
Blanks, big, strong guy, but he's willing to take a little man's approach there, just inside out, shooting it the other way, knocking it through that hole just under the glove of the diving Barney.
Well, noticing where the Cubs were lined up, we can say with pretty good authority that Blanks does not hit many ground balls to the spot where he just did, or Barney would have been there. They were playing him to pull. Cabrera batting right-handed against the southpaw Russell, and he takes ball 1 low. They go from 6'6", 270 to 5'10", 176. Baseball players come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about baseball. They got the Amarista kid. They list him at 5'8", but he's smaller than that. Just saw Big John Rauch in Florida, the tallest pitcher ever. He's 6'11".
He's listed as the tallest pitcher ever. Isn't he the tallest baseball player ever? Is there a position player who's 7'1"?
I can't imagine. I don't think so. That's a good point.
Well, I'm going to go with tallest player ever until somebody proves me otherwise.
Last year in a game against Houston, we had the largest differential in the history of the game. Rauch pitching to Altuve, who's 5'4".
1-2 on Cabrera. Time called. Well, I bet Altuve gave him a good battle.
He sure did. He's a feisty little guy. Swayman said if the situation were right, he would use Russell in the 9th inning in a save situation if there are a couple of big left-handed bats due up.
Shot down the line, it's fair. But it goes right to Bourbon. Here's a throw to second. Save. Just got in. I think Cabrera thought that might be an easier double than it ended up being. That ball carried right to Bourbon, who made a nice throw. This might be Julio Bourbon's first time ever in Wrigley Field. Remember, he joined the Cubs on the last road trip. But that's what batting practice is for. Trying to learn the caroms.
Cabrera, one of the fastest guys in the league, and it was awfully close, but it looked like the call was correct. Hand got in there before Castro could get that tag on him.
So that's it for Russell. Here comes Kevin Gregg, second and third. Padres threatening again. Honda call to the pen. not need much time to get loose. He's ready to go against Chris Denorfia, tying runs in scoring position, and a strike on the outside corner. Boy, does it not seem like this game has just been on the brink at every turn here in the middle to late innings?
And both teams really battling hard for this one.
Greg makes 2 pitches, gets out of the 8th. Bottom 8 coming up. 5-3 Cubs. Of the game. Who's going to be the first prospect brought up this year? Well, I don't think any of the big time top prospects will at the lower levels. More likely to see somebody from AAA if there is a need. As Brad Brock deals a strike on Alfonso Soriano.
AAA guys are more of a veteran group there, not any real young hot prospects.
I think 2 guys to look at if there's an injury in the outfield. Ryan Sweeney and Brian Bogusevic, both off to very good starts.
Bogusevic lit it up in spring training. He's just continued to hit. Went deep last night. He's got a 9-game hitting streak. Batting .417 for the year, and he's hitting .484 on his streak. Brett Jackson also homered last night.
Brent Lillibridge off to a good start since being sent down. See blanks in right, Denorfia now in center. That's high. Well, Brock is pitching like his hair's on fire. He gets it, he throws it. Slider missed. 3-2.
Creates some tough angles for right-handed hitter. He starts well on the first base side of the rubber, then throws across his body, steps towards the third base dugout. Works against that firm front side to create leverage.
Ripped into the alley. And it's going to get out there near the 368 marker, and that'll allow Soriano to pull up at second with a double. Good at bat.
Hanging in there against that tough right-handed delivery. Double number 5 for Soriano. He's been a good leadoff man tonight. Leadoff single in the 6th and scored. Now leadoff double here in the 8th.
No action in the Cubs bullpen, so it looks like Kevin Gregg will come back out for the 9th. If something changes, we'll let you know. Brock has a sign from Hundley. Foul tip, 1-2. Bottom 10 in Miami. Mets and Marlins tied at 2. John Buck has hit his 9th for the Mets.
He's on fire.
Houston beat the Yankees 9-1 the final. Lucas Harrell over Andy Pettit. Way inside again, 2-2. Cleveland shut out Kansas City 9-0. Ubaldo Jimenez was fantastic tonight. 7 shutout innings on 3 hits.
It's an interesting case, isn't he? That no-hitter in Denver looked like he was on his way to being the best in the league. For a time he was. He had 15 wins before the All-Star break that year.
It's not gone well with Cleveland. That's his first win of the year. Ryan Rayburn hit 2 home runs. So that knocks the Royals out of first place with Detroit winning. There was a note I saw. I wish I could tell you who tweeted it. Good pick by Hundley. I think it was the last time the Pirates and Royals were both in first place at the same time was 1997. So it's been a while.
Yeah, the Pirates hung in the race in the Central that year. Finishing below 500, of course. But the Astros won the division that year with 83 wins or something like that. That's when everybody was referring to it as the Comedy Central.
Milwaukee beating up the Pirates 10-4 in the bottom of the 8th.
5 home runs for the Brewers tonight. Betancourt, Gallardo hit his 2nd. Gomez number 4. Segura his 2nd. Aoki his 3rd. Reds 2, Cardinals 1. Bottom of the 8th in Cincinnati.
We'll see both those teams later on this homestand. Another long at bat here, and before the 3-2, Hundley will head out.
They put up a good fight here. Wellington doubled earlier. Reached on a walk. Any way to get Soriano over to third base, this would be a very good AB.
Can't do it as he strikes out on a high fastball, 1 away. Are you looking for a way to make your business stand out from the competition? Host your best customers and guests in a private suite at Wrigley Field. The Nuveen Investment Suites can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 55 guests and include food, all-you-can-drink beverages, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. I almost said all you can park parking. I guess, yeah, if you have one vehicle, you can park all you want for the night.
Come and go. In and out privileges. Padres putting a little play on Soriano out there. If you're going to try to steal third base with one out, that would be the time to do it.
Oh, 0-1 on Bourbon. Julio is making his Wrigley Field debut. Did not like that call very much. 0-2.
We've seen Carlson call some pitches at the top of the zone tonight.
The thing about that pitch, you see, Bourbon has his knees bent. He kind of stood up to take the pitch, and it was belt high. High chopper, and Headley, all he could do was block it with his glove, but could not snag it. And that's an infield hit for Bourbon. No, Scheck had an error on Headley on the short hop.
Charging it aggressively, as he should do, but just couldn't secure it out of the webbing of his glove. As if he were playing a game of flip.
So first and third with only one out. And here's Ransom again. Go ahead homer in the second. Go ahead RBI single in the sixth. And a defensive play of the game with the bases loaded in the seventh. He was trying to bunt and could not hold up in time. Looked like he was doing that on his own.
I think he's just going to try to push one out there towards second base. The Padres are playing for two in the middle, and with Alonso holding Bourbon on over there first base, and he just push one out there, get it past the pitcher, and even if you don't get a knock, you're going to get that run home from third. Carlos Marmol's warming up in the Cubs bullpen.
One reason we're getting near that pitcher spot in the order. Well, that's the other interesting one for a manager in this spot. How much does Dale want Kevin Gregg to be that guy in the ninth? Enough where he would bat maybe with a bases loaded, trying to put the game away on offense? I don't think that would happen.
You don't want Black to know that Gregg is going to come to hit in this inning, so you've got Marmol up anyway, for nothing else as a decoy. So you'd have the option to hit for Gregg if his turn did come up.
Brock ready for a 1-2, and he's going to actually throw to third. Well, when he started that motion, I thought, is he going to balk? If he had done that fake to third, spin, and fire to first, that would have been a balk.
Soriano's taking a pretty aggressive lead down that third baseline. Not a bad idea by the Padres. Try to sneak in behind him there with Headley.
Foul tip, he got him. So that's the second out. Both outs in the inning on strikeouts.
He's got some life on that heater when it's up in the zone. Really explosive.
Giancarlo Stanton out of the game tonight. Apparently a leg injury of some sort on a ground out in the 10th inning. The day after he had that huge 2-homer game against the Cubs. Ball one on Barney. So they're now in the 11th, 2-2 Mets and Marlins. The final in Milwaukee, 10-4 Gallardo over Rodriguez as the Brewers beat the Pirates. Outside 2-0. Big night for Barney. 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and a walk. When it goes from first, Bourbon called strike, and he'll stand at second, no throw.
Infielders did not break the cover. He's just going to concede this base to Bourbon.
Another 2-2. Grounded foul. Here's the other thing about the Cubs closing situation. If Barney makes the third out, Dale can go back to Kevin Gregg if he wants, and then he's got Marmol ready in case Gregg gets into some trouble. But in the old setup, you know, you just throw the closer out there, then you don't have the safety net.
Yeah, you got plan A and plan B, regardless of who's the hot hand at the time, becomes plan A, I guess.
Little dribbler to second, barehanded play by Jerko. Much more difficult play than it looked, and he gets Barney to end the inning. We go to the ninth. Cubs lead by 2. Sportsnet, Scott Feldman will square off with former Cub Andrew Kashner in a night game here on the north side. Don't miss Padres and Cubs Wednesday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. I believe we're going to have a scoring change on that Headley error. Bourboin will be credited with an infield single. So my initial gut feeling was correct. So Kevin Gregg back out there, and ball one on Chase Headley. He can go right after him, leading by 2. Two and 0.
Yep, now be willing to be pretty aggressive with this 2-0 fastball.
Especially with a guy with good home run pop on deck, Quentin. Swing and a miss.
Good sink. Home run swing, but nobody home.
Bullpen has been excellent tonight. All 3 runs came against Samardzija, the starter. Bowden, a scoreless inning. He could get the win. Camp loaded the bases. He did get an out in the 7th, but then James Russell picked him up. Russell went an inning and a third before Kevin Gregg got him out of the 8th. Two, he got him on a fastball.
Well, he's really executing. I mean, you saw Castillo call for the fastball away. Gregg shook. He said, "No, I want it in," and threw that 2-seamer that runs back to the inside corner. Knew exactly what he wanted to do, and then was able to execute the pitch.
Gregg looking for his first save at Wrigley Field since 2009.
Had 3 saves on the road trip, including Friday and Saturday in Miami. Covering that outside edge.
Quentin fans for the 3rd time tonight. Time now for our GMC player of the game, Cody Ransom, against his former team with a huge night all the way around.
The solo home run, then that big 2-out hit after the Hairston double play in the 6th, and then the sweet play with the bases loaded.
0-1 to Alonso. Fans on their feet here in the 9th inning. 0-2, 32,169 in the old ballpark. On a summer-like night here in late April. Chopper to Darwin Barney. Cubs win. Kevin Gregg faces 4, retires all of them, gets his first save in this park in 4 years, and a nice start to the homestand.
Well, just an outstanding job by the bullpen tonight, coming in to pick up Jeff Samardzija, who's only able to go 5 innings. The pitch count got to be an issue for Jeff. The bullpen was outstanding, and the bottom of the batting order. Hairston with a home run, Ransom with the big night we just showed you, Darwin Barney with a couple of doubles, a couple driven in. Good, solid all-around team effort.
So that will wrap things up from Wrigley Field. For JD and our entire CSN crew, Len Casper saying so long. Your final score, the Cubs 5, the Padres 3. Join us Wednesday at 7. The Cubs face the Padres in Game 3 of this 4-game set. Coming up next, Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live.